we didn't put the, when I say we didn't put the verse, the reference verse, so now it's all right, and we're all good. Okay, now the one thing about Eddie, you can use Eddie to introduce the verse, but I've tried to, if at all possible, put him between the verse and the story. That just gives him a little bit of a break between them. And so I'm going to do that today. But, okay. Now, and if you could remember your figures from before, you're welcome to do this. We learned that the Bible has history in it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But is it a history book? No. We learned that it has science in it. And all the science is what? It's true, it's correct, but is it a science book? And we learned also that it's also a book of prophecy where people tell what's going to happen in the future. How in the world can people do that? Tell what's going to happen in the future? Only because God tells them. That's exactly right. Well, do you know, also in the Bible, there are a lot of things that God gives us that he wants us to do. They're called commands. And we have the 10 Commandments, don't we? But then there's a lot of other commands, you know, things that we should do. What are all those commands called? It starts with an R. Yeah, and what kind of rules are they? They're all right. They're all good. All right. Now, you know, this is just talking about the Old Testament now, but you may wonder, which one of those rules is the most important? Or is there one that's more important than the others? Well, we would have debates about that, except there was a man one time that asked just the right person. And he said, what is the most important commandment? And because that man asked just the right person, and that answer is recorded in our Bible, so we know which one of those rules is the most important. And that's our memory verse today. We're going to learn which one of those rules is. So it says, it starts out, I'm just going to tell you the first part. It says, and he says to him. Now, who do you think it was that was asked this question that gave just totally the right answer that nobody else would have probably guessed? It was Jesus. So Jesus said to him, the guy, we don't know his name, but it was, you know, so it's be to us, but Jesus said to him, and he said to him. So it starts out with, and he said to him. What is that?
And he said to him.
And so he said, all right, you, meaning everybody. So I'm going to put you up here. He says, you shall, and then here's the next word. What do you think the next word is? Love. And so it's you, what's that word here? Shall.
Love.
And then the, and then the next word is going to be Lord. And then it's your God. That's right. And so Jesus said, you know, the most important thing is that you shall love the Lord your God. Now, if I ask you, do you love God? I think I know what your answer would be. What would it be?
Yes.
Right. Now, I'm just going to tell you what happened in my Sunday school class a number of years ago. So anyway, there were these kids. Oh, they all loved God the most. But some of their parents signed them up for a sports team. And the sports team would have games on Sunday. So now, here is Sunday school. Here is church, learning about God. Here is a game that your team is playing. Now, if they went to church and Sunday school on that day, do you think they would be wishing they were over here playing? But if they went and played their game on Sunday morning, do you think they would wish that they were over at Sunday school and church? Probably not. What would you feel? Would your team's playing, would you want to be there, even though it was a day that you should be learning about the Lord? Let me tell you something. This verse says, you shall love the Lord your God. And we all would say yes. But how we know is the choices we make. You know, you can say, oh, I love you to anyone. But if you don't make choices that benefit them, that give honor to them, that do what they want to do and make them important in your life, then it's just words to say, I love you. And so, this verse says, now what does it say? You shall love the Lord your God. All right. And this tells you how you should love the Lord your God. Whoa. It says, with all your heart. All your heart. Now I told my kids this because I've been reading things on this, but you know that the Bible always says that we love with our heart, and that, you know, it's in our heart the man thinks, and all of this. Well, where would we say that we think and love? Our brain. Do you know that they have done heart transplants? And people with these new hearts will all of a sudden say, gee, I'm just craving this, or you know what, I don't like that, or and they go and they find out that it's really with the person whose heart they got. So, I mean, you know, the Bible does use the word mind, but it uses the word heart. So I'm just telling you. So we should love the Lord with all our heart. And then it says, well, don't you think that would be enough if it says we should love the Lord with all your heart? I think, well, that pretty well settles it right there. And that means that all your emotions, the things that you desire the most, the things that you just really love and want to be around and want to do. But then it goes on and it says something else. Well, what else is there? It says, now what does it say? You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Well, what is your soul? You know, your soul is really your personality. It's the real you. It's the part of us that, you know, we talk to people, and it's just the real us that lives within us. So this is the real us. This is what the real us really loves and desires and wants. But your soul is just your personality and who you are. And so it says, so we should love the Lord with all our heart and with all our soul. Well, don't you think that just pretty much encompasses it? Got it? Good. Done. There's one more thing. And this is Jesus. So Jesus is the one who says with all your heart and with all your soul. And he adds one more thing. And what do you think that is? With all of your mind. You know, kids, we've been talking about that. If we learn one thing, and then we find out the Bible says something else, it might be a fact. I mean, we need to believe the Bible. Not just because, well, that's what you're supposed to do because you're a Christian. No, it's because the Bible is true. They're going to find out the Bible is true. And so sometimes you have to go against what certain scientists say, oh, yes, we've discovered this. Well, they haven't always. They always just thought life just happened. And then they found out that, no, it doesn't. You know, you need, and they all did it from just rags. That if you had dirty rags, this is what they felt. In the middle centuries, if you had dirty rags, you were just going to get flies. They just automatically came from dirty rags. Well, is that true? No, there were little eggs there. So life only comes from life. So there's so many times that science has not been right. And so God says, you know what, you need to, what? You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. That's right. And how did it start out? Jesus was talking to that guy, remember? And he said to him. All right. So guys, I just want to tell you something. You need to love God with everything. And that means making decisions. You know, you may say, well, I don't feel like it. You ask me, do I feel? Well, love has nothing to do with feelings. Love has to do with actions. The choices you make, the things you do, that is what love is. And do you know that when you make the right choices, you know what does happen? You do get the feelings. So there's been times, but it doesn't really matter. My choices are that I love God. Okay, now we're going to come up and we're going to sing this. And for all you visual learners, we're show it to you right now. It's what's Matthew 22:37. That's where it's found. Matthew's in what? The Old or the New? And Matthew, Mark, Luke, John are basically about who? Jesus. So yeah, Jesus. And he said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. All right. Come on, girls. Okay, now my point is we've had plenty of time.
We've had plenty of time.
So come on up.
We'll see about this. This is
Go.
mine. Okay. So the motions for this verse. Oh, it starts with the Matthew 22:37. And he said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart. We're going to do the heart from last verse. With all your soul and with all your mind. That's pretty much it. So, let's see if mine will go.
Okay.
Do we want to do all of them?
Okay.
Okay.